the James Culic Show. James Culic Show.
Welcome back to the James Culic Show. And I'm your host, James Culic. With me in the booth, still to my left, is my good friend, Mr. George McDermott. George, how are you, George?
Why am I still here?
I don't know. You probably should have given up on this by now, right? And just said, what am I doing here?
Like, what am I doing here?
You should have smartened up and got the heck out of here. But instead, you're stuck here. Let's talk about healthcare.
No.
Let's do a disclaimer. For those of you who don't know, I don't really delve into local healthcare anymore because it's a bit of a conflict of interest. My wife works over there.
Right.
But George, you're not married to my wife, last time I checked.
I truly wish I was.
Which means you are free to talk about healthcare. So I'm going to turn over the host chair here. George is going to talk a little bit about healthcare because there is some really important healthcare news in the headlines this week that, you know, if I wasn't married to my lovely wife, I would probably be talking about, but I'm not. So I'm going to turn the reins over to George. He's going to tell me a little bit about this story that's going on where some people from the healthcare thing resigned because of they were bullied. That's what I hear. George, what do you? What's your take?
I say they're totally wrong. I mean, the officials who quit the town committee said they were belittled, bullied, and humiliated. Mm-hmm. Well, I got to tell you something, James. I sit on that committee. I've never done any of that. I have not known anyone that sits around the table that have ever done that. I call baloney on that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've had some disagreements. I did question Lynn Guerrero one time on how long it took her to make the decision on closing us during the pandemic. And, basically, okay, you had time. Why didn't you call the mayor? That was about as porky as I was. And one of the people from the NHS gave us a map, showed the whole Niagara region, which they serve. It had pointed out every area in the town, except in the region, except for Fort Erie. So I did ask a question on that. But have they been bullied by this board? I suggest not. And I would tell you this, that if every member on our health committee were polled on it, they would say the same thing. It came up as a fact that you have to determine when you're talking to NHS people, what's the difference between criticism and bullying? You know, we have every right to criticize because there's an outrage of 38,000 people in this community that feel that their health care is being taken away from them. Mm-hmm. Why is that? It's because that's what they're doing, trying to take away the health care of our community. The fact is, we don't have transportation at nighttime for people to go to an emergency room. If you don't drive, no shot, call an ambulance, incur cost. This hospital, when it was planned, wasn't planned for all the growth that's coming around. So it's just like the schools having portables on day one after, because nobody's thinking about the growth. Even though everybody's given that opportunity to comment on this growth up to DSPN and everybody else. But the big problem is we're being fed a line of baloney. If you take away the urgent care centers, all those people that would normally go to an urgent care center will end up in the emergency room, and they still have hallway medicine at the NHS. So how they're going to do that with a straight face and tell you it's going to work, I can't fathom. But, they haven't been bullied. They haven't been belittled. We haven't even started to get to the meat of the act in the media or to the minister. Mm-hmm. Our problem, James, is that the minister wants us to negotiate with people that you can't negotiate with because of the fact that you might hurt their feelings. And I got to tell you something. I'm a counselor that brings home $849 every 2 weeks. I'm dealing with
big bucks.
Big bucks. Dealing with people whose wages are in the six figures. And you get critical with somebody like that, they turn around. They want to take the game. They want to take the game home. You can't play anymore. Mm. Well, don't think for a minute we're going to stand for that. That is not fair to us. And we believe that we have the absolute right to defend the outrage of the people of Fort Erie, and we're going to do that irrespective if people's feelings are hurt or anything else. We're talking about healthcare here. You know, the people that get belittled and badgered and their healthcare goes south are people like our indigenous community that every time they go to a hospital, something happens that's not right. These are the people that get lost in the mix, and the people that can't afford to go to the back and forth, right? So we're far from being finished with this, and this does not help matters.
Yeah.
Because we're not bullies here. All we want to do is to make sure that Fort Erie has reliable, sustainable health care, and that's basically it. But, you know, to negotiate that, you need two people to negotiate. Mm-hmm. And right now, we're ready anytime they are, and this is what we get.
Well, there you go, folks. You heard it straight from the horse's mouth. A member of the committee, you got your first-hand account of what's going on over there. If you want to read all about it, check out fortierradio.ca. And until we come back, we got a little bit of Christmas show for you. Here you go.
Where is Nickelback?
Where is the Nickelback?
The James Culic Show. Wednesdays, 6 to 7 p.m. Right here on Fort Erie Radio.